Alrighty, everybody. Happy Friday to all of you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight here at the Atlanta News First Alert Desk. I'm Savannah Louie, here with your top 5 stories of this evening, and we've got a lot going on for you tonight, mostly hyper-local stories. We're going to start with this one out of Clayton County, a celebration of sacrifice for a woman who did so much for her community, all in the line of duty here. I want to show you. Her name is Officer Damika Lloyd. Now, she was shot in the head last year, all in the line of duty. And now, today, she was finally going back home. According to police, Lloyd was shot in July 2022 when responding to a mental health call. She was shot by the woman she was trying to help. Officer Lloyd spent nearly 11 months in the hospital, and at the time of the shooting, she had only been in the department for about a year and a half. A police escort for this recovering officer, I should say, accompanied her earlier today as she did a quick loop through a parking lot. Community members holding signs and cheering for her before Officer Lloyd drove back off to her home. Police Chief Kevin Roberts says that he will let Officer Lloyd dictate her pace on returning to the force. But first and foremost, her health is number one. We just want to say well wishes to Officer Lloyd here, doing so much for the community. Hopefully a quick recovery at home, and she'll get back to the force when she feels able to. All right, going to move straight ahead here to a story that's going to impact millions of Americans, probably even you and your family. If you ever order anything online, I know that's a lot of us out there. Anyone who uses UPS. Well, this is really a key piece in the country's economic wheel, and it could unfortunately stop turning pretty soon, as today members of the Teamsters Union voted to support a strike by the more than 340,000 UPS employees it represents. Union leaders releasing a strong statement saying, in part, our members are the backbone of UPS, and they are the reason this corporation hauled in more than $100 billion in revenue just last year. It's time for UPS to pay up. Right now, the current contract between the union and the Sandy Springs-based business expires at the end of July. Workers right now are demanding more money and better benefits. Now, I do want to mention earlier this week, the Teamsters Union announced a tentative agreement between them and UPS to add air conditioning to the company's delivery vans, which was seen as a major marker of success, but ultimately, as of today, it's still not enough to completely avoid the strike. We're going to follow this as more is going to develop between now and August 1st. All right, now I want to update you on a major story. If you have been in the Atlanta area for a couple of years now, you have to remember these images. Let me pull them up for you real quick. This is on our website, by the way. So if you go to atlantanewsfirst.com, you can actually see and watch this story right here. But these are the images I am talking about. Okay, pennies. Look at all these pennies covered in oil. If you're wondering what happened here, well, the owner of a business in Peachtree City dumped thousands of dollars of pennies at the home of a former employee as the final paycheck. And a former employee claiming that his former workplace had been a toxic work environment. Now, that employee ended up suing, and we just confirmed the employee won that suit. Miles Walker now must pay the former employee and 8 other people $39,000 in back pay and liquidated damages. That's a lot. That's a lot more than he would have owed if he just would have paid that initial paycheck like a normal person. Anyways, that all happened surrounding the AOK Luxury Auto Works company. And again, this happened back in May 2021. So, story we've been following for a while. I just wanted to bring that update in because I know a lot of you at home were invested in that story and it went viral around the country. I remember we've done a few different updates on it. So, just wanted to make sure that you had the latest there tonight. Okay, want to also bring an update to another story. Really concerning here. This story began in Gwinnett. A Gwinnett teenager was found today after missing for several days. She was found inside of a man's home, that man living in Clayton County. The teenage girl, just 14 years old, was found in this Clayton County home with 41-year-old Russell Cheeves. The girl's family tells Atlanta News First the man was unknown. Now, you might remember us telling you about this story first. The girl was last seen May 24th around 10:30 a.m., shortly after finishing her final exams at Parkview High School. Detectives led them to the home in Morrow. There were several different departments and police forces on scene today. Jail records in Clayton County also show that Cheeves was charged with child molestation. Very upsetting story here. Now, shortly after this teen girl's reported disappearance, Parkview School Police found her laptop and her book bag under her 17-year-old sister's car. Her debit card was located on top of the car's windshield, and her cell phone was turned off, which really made the family think that there were some questionable events surrounding the girl's disappearance. And then school security cameras caught her walking toward the parking lot area and off of campus. And what you're seeing here is our reporter, Adam Murphy, getting some of those answers for us today. Meanwhile, there is another missing young woman from Parkview High School. Her name is Layla Novlajevic, and the search for her remains ongoing. She disappeared on May 16th, and her family also believes that she could be in danger. But for now, we know that one of those teen girls has been located, and one suspect is facing some very serious allegations tonight. All right, we got to wrap things up with a positive story here, because I know that was a lot, that was very heavy for a Friday afternoon, a Friday evening. So I'm going to give you this, something I'm very excited about, and our entire staff here at Atlanta News First is extremely excited about. Hopefully, you'll come out and celebrate Juneteenth with us this weekend. Thousands of people are expected to flock downtown for the annual Juneteenth Atlanta Parade and Music Festival. Here's some of our staff from last year. Now, you can expect some great music, food, vendors, and activities for the whole family. And this is all to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved Black Americans. Our team will be out there tomorrow. You can either join us along the parade route, or you can watch the parade on Peachtree TV, or on streaming on Atlanta News First Plus. That's the same way that you're watching me tonight. And that celebration will be tomorrow, June 17th, from noon until 3. A lot of our staff went out there last year. They had a complete blast. We expect to have even more fun this year. So seriously, hopefully you can join us, because it is a great time. And what better way to spend your Sunday? It's supposed to be beautiful this weekend, but I won't take Patrick's job. All right, meteorologist Patrick Pete, let's bring him on in. First, though, we're going to show you a live look here at Centennial Olympic Park, and I actually don't know what event this is.
They're preparing for Juneteenth celebrations.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they're preparing.
Yeah, they're preparing.
I thought it was going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is. There is. I think this is the first night of some of the events.
Round one.
Yes.
Before the major events.
Friday already, 8 o'clock. It's already
Wow.
popping. There's, people, folks out here underneath the tents.
Patrick's going to be out there later after the shift. He's a real party animal.
There's a 75% chance that I will. There is. It looks amazing outside. It feels a little sticky. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat it, but hey, you know what? So far, we are rushing through the middle of June, and it hasn't really been too unbearable yet this month. So we will take a little bit of stickiness with a smile on our faces, right? Happy Friday, everybody. I hope y'all are having a fantastic evening. Check it out. It's Friday night, and we feel all right. The party's here right off of Northside Drive. Not a comedian. That's why I'm a meteorologist. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so the forecast. Tonight, we are watching a couple of showers and storms that are moving through portions of Alabama. We do think that some of our southernmost counties could see a little bit of rain, a little bit of storms. That's going to include folks in Cleveland and Randolph counties, but more specifically, Heard, Troup, and Meriwether counties. You know, that little line down there, counties. Troup, Meriwether, Pike, Lamar, Upson. Yeah, you guys are right there along where some of those cells are firing up. We've been watching them. There's a lot of lightning. There's been a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. I think that rain, lightning, and wind are going to be the primary concerns, but these storms have had a history of producing some small to medium-sized hails, so definitely things to be aware down there, while the rest of us are pretty dry over the course of the next few hours. Father's Day weekend, Juneteenth weekend. There's a 5K. There's a lot of stuff going on. Listen, tomorrow's going to be pretty dry. We do think that there's some isolated showers and thunderstorms that are going to be possible, but that looks to be areas along and south of the I-20 corridor, and you can see that illustrated on that Saturday cutout. Meanwhile, Sunday is trending drier, which is great news. We still are keeping a 20% chance of a spotty shower just because there is a bit of a short wave around, and with it heating up to near 90 degrees, there's definitely enough energy in the atmosphere that we could squeeze out a couple of showers. I think it's going to be pretty spotty, so no first alerts for the weekend. But look at next week. It is going to be a mess. Multiple rounds of rain and thunderstorms. And we've been talking about this a little bit on this platform, but also during the newscast. We're looking at what's called a cutoff low. And I kind of gave you the reference yesterday about the slide. If you missed it, you can look at yesterday's video on YouTube. But basically, this low pressure system is going to be cut off from normal flow. So it's not going to move in and move out. It's going to move in and just swirl around for a few days. And right now, the guidance is keeping it around for 5 days. So there's rain chances in the forecast all of next week. We do think that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are the highest rain chances, so that's why we're first alerting those. In theory, these lows don't typically just sit for 5 days, so we're lightening up on those rain chances towards the end of the forecast, but we want to at least give you the heads up that there's a chance that we could be dealing with some of this moisture heading into next week. So let's get you through the weekend because that's what you're here for. Sunshine for the morning. And as we push into the afternoon, things are looking pretty good. You can see that there are some shower and thunderstorm activities that start to fire up late day. Most of that looks to hug the I-20 corridor, mainly south and west of I-75. That's going to be our best chance for some showers and storms tomorrow. Now, I want to say this with a caveat. The reason why we only have this at a 30% chance of rain is just because so far this summer, the trend has been for the guidance to be a little bit overactive with our atmosphere. So we're dialing that rain chance, thunderstorm chance back to about a 30% for the afternoon and evening, and then all of that energy starts to taper off as we head into the second half of the day. So your Juneteenth parade forecast, it starts at around lunchtime, but if you're getting up early in the morning, maybe you're trying to get that nice run before you head to the parade, or maybe you want to go and hit the links. Maybe you're just doing like, a little 7-hole, 9-hole action instead of, the full 18. Numbers are going to be in the low to mid 70s earlier. We're keeping a 20% chance of showers throughout the mid to late morning, but I do think we're dry until the afternoon. That's where things really start to get destabilized, roughly 2:30, 3 o'clock on till about 6. Temperatures are going to still climb into the upper 80s, and I will not be surprised if a couple of spots hit 90 degrees. It's going to be a little sticky out there, going to be a little humid. That's going to be a baseline of our forecast, just to be quite frank. Meanwhile, Sunday morning, getting up, getting ready to go to church, low to mid 60s with a good mix of sun and clouds. Going to feel pleasant enough. Heading into the afternoon, though, we quickly warm up. Already flirting with 90 degrees in Marietta and Atlanta at 1 o'clock. Lots of sunshine there. Guidance is bringing in a little bit of moisture, so that spotty shower is there. I don't expect this to be a big production. Listen, if you were doing a cookout for Dad in the backyard on Father's Day, then do it. I would not cancel any of those plans. If you were going to do a pool day, then do it. This is not looking overwhelming for Sunday. Not to mention, because of the mess of the week that we have coming up, you're going to want to squeeze out every dry hour that you can in the weekend forecast. So low rain chance for Sunday. Here's that first wave of showers and storms moving in Monday, late morning, early afternoon, and it's going to be in waves, round after round after round. This area of low pressure rotates and brings showers and storms. So we're first alerting Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. because this is just going to be a system that's going to stay with us and plague us. Not to mention, it's going to pummel in humidity. So those dew points are going to climb into the upper 60s. Some guidance is suggesting flirting with 70 degrees some days. Listen, 70-degree dew points is when it starts to feel like July, August. Mid to upper 60s is what the normal summer feels like, and that's what we're going to start to feel like as we head through this next stretch. Just a little humid, nothing too overwhelming. Meanwhile, in addition to dealing with all of this rain at home, we're also focusing on the tropics because, hey, hurricane season started June 1st. Shameless plug. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow at 7, but you can set your DVRs. Tomorrow at 7, we actually have a hurricane preparedness, hurricane weather ready special that's going to be airing. Our team has been working behind the scenes, not only getting you prepared with the stuff that you know, but also breaking down some things that you don't know or maybe that are back of mind when it comes to hurricanes. And I know what you're thinking probably. Patrick, we are in North Georgia. We're not in Savannah. We're not in Charleston. We're not in Miami. But trust me, if you watch our special, you're going to understand why we're doing it, why we are doing it, despite not being in an area that's immediately next to the ocean or the Gulf of Mexico. As you all know, tropical systems make their way inland, named and unnamed, and we do have our own risks just because of our geolocation. So we're talking about all of that. We're breaking down the actual hurricane outlook so that you can know what to expect. I know there's this El Nino, La Nina, or as my 10 o'clock producer likes to say, I'm not going to say it. But all of that, it's a lot, but we're going to break it down and we're going to make it interesting and we're going to make it something that you should actually check out. So 7 o'clock tomorrow, set your DVRs, or you could just join us after the parade. We're going to have that special on for you. Anyways, back to the tropics. We have no name system right now, but we are watching this area of low pressure that is coming off the coast of Africa. Lots of things about this. Last year, and actually for the last couple of years, this early in the season, we had something called Saharan dust that was really just all over the Atlantic basin, and it was suppressing thunderstorms from developing. If you're interested in how Saharan dust impacts cyclogenesis, then shoot me a message and I'll give you that. But it basically it dries it out. It takes away a lot of the moisture in the atmosphere. Well, anyways, we don't have that out there. So this system is actually moving into an area where there's modest wind shear and there's a lot of moisture and there's nothing to dry it out. So over the course of the next 7 days, we do think that we could be dealing with that minimum of depression. Now, just FYI, this is still days away from actually developing into something. And right now, all guidance is hinting at this staying out to sea. But because it's days away from even being an organized area of low pressure, you're going to want to stick with us this week as we continue to time that out. So no reason to sound the alarm, but it's something we're watching. Cool deal? Bet. 7-day forecast with your weekend in view. It's the lowest rain chances of the period, unfortunately. I do think that the bulk of the day, Sunday, is going to be dry. There's going to be a few more pop-ups tomorrow. I'm really watching areas that are south and west of I-75 and south of I-20 because that really looks to be the corridors where those shower opportunities are going to be greatest. So what does that mean? If you're in Rabun County, you're going to have a great Saturday because it's going to stay dry up there. But everywhere else, south and west, closer to those interstates, that's where it really looks to see that we'll have some instability firing up. So we'll watch. It'll be isolated. And Sunday's rain chances, actually, I think less. I think that we're not going to see as much widespread shower storm activity. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be a mess. It's going to be gloomy, going to be rain here. When it's not raining, it's going to be gloomy. So, yeah, and all of the clouds and all of the rain, all of the moisture in the atmosphere, that's all going to keep those temperatures down. So whereas we should be in the mid to upper 80s this time of year across our area, we are going to be in the 70s heading into the middle of next week. And we're going to continue to fine-tune that Thursday, Friday resolution. Right now, it looks like that low is going to be around. Yet again, this is something you'll want to check in with us next week as we continue to get more information. All right, I've been talking a long time, and it's Friday. We still have more news to report. There's been a lot of stories that have just been crazy today. And, the weather has definitely been very interesting itself this week. So Fred's going to have an update for you at 9. See you in a bit.